What's up, Orland family? This is Counselor Briggs and Bijou. Hey. Love this little dog. She's my little buddy. Alright, so this video is talking about an article that Ms. Hess posted in Social Emotional Learning and Supports, but I will, of course, include the link in the description. This video, or this, the link or the article discusses how to cope with anxiety about coronavirus or COVID-19. Essentially, this is geared a little bit more toward the parents. So students, if you guys are finding this video, feel free to share it with your parents or have your parents watch it something along those lines. Be able to kind of share with them so that they can they can help better support you as well as themselves a bit. Alright, so if you're in your Google Classroom, Social Emotional Learning and Supports, it's anxiety and the coronavirus. Opens this fun little website. Alright, so get rid of this stinking cookies. Alright, so the main idea with this article is it discusses some kind of how to approach the coronavirus and how to approach the conversation about COVID-19. It's been published by Very Well Mind. Scroll down. Parents, there's some ways to take care of yourselves. You guys can feel free to read the article. I'm not going to read it word for word for you. I'm just going to try to kind of hit the highlights. Essentially, ways to take care of yourself are reading the news from reliable sources and take breaks from the news. Recognize things that you can control, like having good hygiene, taking measures only if recommended by CDC, practicing self-care, and seeking professional help from a licensed mental health professional if necessary. So first thing that it talks about is managing stress and reading news from trustworthy sources. So I do enjoy reading stuff on Facebook. Personally, for me, I don't read or follow a lot of mainstream media and news just because if it's really super important, it'll end up on Facebook just because that seems to be the thing that's going away. So a lot of in my opinion, some reliable information shows up on Facebook, but that's not always the case. So something I've been noticing about this whole COVID-19 and coronavirus is everybody has an opinion. Everybody's going to try to make a story, and you got to think about how the news is going to try to publish information that's going to want you to tune in again and tune back in later. That's just kind of how media works. If media was 100% always honest, straightforward, and gave you the whole story every single time, we wouldn't necessarily always be going back to it because we need to know more, got to know more. And this news source is providing this information, that news source is providing this information and that information. Which one's accurate? Kind of try and take everything with a grain of salt. Not everything is always 100% accurate. Generally, try to take your information from Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and I would also recommend, if you're going to try and get information from the media, I would strongly recommend that you do more of like watching press conferences and whatnot, as opposed to just reading articles or watching news clippings. Alright, so develop an action plan. What are the steps that you're going to take to decrease the risk to yourself and your family? Come up with your action plan. For my wife and I, our action plan was we wanted to be with our family so that we could help take care if the need arose. So that's what we're doing. Set limits on your media consumption. If you have a constant stream of media and information coming in, you will become overwhelmed. You'll get your messages crossed and whatnot. So try to kind of limit your consumption some. I mean, yes, it's important to stay informed, but it's also, don't be bombarded by all these different articles and information stuff that promotes anxiety. And the more information it's good, but you also don't want to be, you don't want it to become your all-consuming thought. Avoid the herd mentality. Don't jump on bandwagons just because everybody's doing it. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right thing and accurate. Practice good self-care. So eating a good diet, exercising, plenty of sleep. And I would also encourage you to maintain some of your, and I mentioned this in a previous video, maintain some of your habits and your daily rituals. Just because we're not going out and about doesn't mean that you need to forsake your shower, that you can forsake your showers for the week or for however long. Shower every day, brush your teeth, put your deodorant on, yada yada. Take care of yourself. Seek professional help if you're having mental health issues. It's pretty simple to go on to, I want to say it's Psychology Today or psychology.com and seek some help if you need it. Mental health concerns. This can be a really overwhelming time. A lot of information, things that we can and can't normally do. Some people have lost jobs. I know on Facebook a number of people that groups that I'm in, they're losing their vehicles because they've lost their job, they can't make their payments. That's really heavy stuff, as well as this number of people infected and deaths and yada yada. It can be really overwhelming. So depression and anxiety can definitely set in, and I don't want to downplay that at all. So make sure that you are taking care of yourself during these crazy times. Okay. Rumination or isolation. It's very easy if you are by yourself or with a small select group of people that you don't necessarily spend a ton of time with, to kind of sit and stew and think about, I'm stuck in these times. I'm stuck at home. This is really overwhelming. There's so many things happening. Oh my goodness. Spend some time talking to other people. Don't sit there and stew on what's happening and whatnot, and or not happening, but spend time interacting with your family. If they're there in the house with you, spend time talking with those in your home. But also definitely feel free to call friends and family and continue interacting with them. Don't physically isolate yourself, but don't socially, emotionally, and relationally isolate yourself. All right, so how do I react? Responding to the unfamiliar. Respond. Don't act irrationally. Don't make a decision instantly. Don't make large sweeping decisions when you are mentally, emotionally, psychologically impaired or affected by coronavirus. Don't act out when it's not necessary. Don't make your major sweeping decisions. Kind of like, for example, it's not prudent to make major life decisions when you've just lost a loved one. That's just kind of psychology 101. We don't make things, don't make rash, major decisions when you're impaired. All right. Keep in mind the media's influence. There are positive and negative media influences out there. Like I said earlier, take everything with a grain of salt. A lot of people are trying to keep the public up to date as best as possible, but also, just keep in mind, ratings. Feel free to do study on ratings. Study those things. Don't necessarily believe 100% of all the hype out there is what I would definitely encourage. There's some additional links down here at the end of the article, and a word from this publisher. So those are just some things that I would definitely keep in mind. Are communicate with your family, take things with a grain of salt, take care of yourself, as well as take care of your family. This in times of trouble or crisis or high stress, it's good to band together and to lean on each other for support. Spend time with your family if they're quarantined with you. Don't go out and search out people that you don't normally interact with or that you haven't been with since day one, just because we don't know. It takes I forget however many exact days, but it takes a while for you to start noticing symptoms and whatnot. So let's not spread the virus. Love on your pets. This, the world has changed for them too. Your kids, students, the world has changed drastically for them as well. With all the different, this is very different. Students are used to, or your kids are used to, being at school 5 days a week for about 7 to 8 hours a day. That's basically a full-time job, or pretty close to a full-time job. That's what they're used to. Your pets and animals are not used to you being home constantly, so it's new for them as well. So just kind of keep those things in mind. Love your family, love your pets, love each other. Keep open communication. If you guys need anything, reach out to professional mental health, or also feel free to reach out to myself or somebody at the school. We'll be more than happy to help you out. We love y'all. Stay safe. Don't get the Rona, and have a good one. Bye, y'all.